So, when I was younger, I never realized how much of a difference there was from like me being 13 to me being 15, then me being 15 to 18, 18 to 20, 20 to 25, 20 to 23, 23 to 25, and that's where I'm at right now is I'm only 25, but it's like I never realized the drastic difference and how much I'm not even the same person, right? Like, I was just looking at pictures of me and my girl back in high school because we dated in high school. We broke up for like 6 years, but like, we dated in high school. And I was thinking to myself how, me and her are both completely different people. It's not even the same people in that picture. I look pretty much the same. I was a little bigger back then, but like, I'm pretty much the exact same look-wise. But I was thinking how much the person is not the same. It's not the same person in that picture. Right? Like, I was thinking, then I started thinking how much, I'm 25 right now. And I was thinking if I knew what I knew right now, like, I don't know, 3 years ago, I was thinking maybe I wouldn't have lost my son to foster care, right? Lost him to the system, right? Maybe things would have been different if I only would have acted different. Things would have been different, right? I gave, so I have one child that's in foster care, and I have one child that's, that I gave up for adoption, right? Me and my girl talk about it now like it was fucking the most retarded, dumb fucking decision we've ever made, right? Because we both know now, or it's like if we knew what we knew now back then, we would have never did that because we thought we weren't capable of doing it. But seeing things now, realizing that no, things would have been fine. We would have been more than capable of doing it, right? It's just, those are some of the, like, that's the biggest mistake I've ever made in my entire life. And I'm not scared to talk about it on camera. I'm not scared to talk about it at all. It's just, I guess I'm using that as a reference of understanding to see that, things change. People change. You make mistakes, and if you get caught up on your mistakes you made in the past, then it'll hold you back from making a right decision in the future. Because you're so caught up on the mistake you made, but when you made that mistake, you were probably a completely different person, right? Like, same thing with me. I was a completely different person. It wasn't just a mistake that I made. It was that I thought differently. There was a maturing thing that's happened. Like, at 18 years old, I thought I was grown, right? I mean, when I was 17 and I had my daughter, I thought I was grown because I could say, oh, I have a kid. But that didn't make me grown. I was still a little kid myself. I was honestly still a little kid up until, I was like 23. At 23 years old, something happened where something changed in my mind state. And now at 25, another thing happened where something changed in my mind state. And it's just observing myself. I can see that right now I'm 25. I can see that at 30 years old, another switch will happen in my mind state. And I can also see that when I'm 40 years old, I will not be thinking the same way I do right now when I'm 25, right? It's like I'm observing that I am changing, and I can observe, I'm very observant, so I'm observing how it's like, if this progression continues, then this is why I can envision what it would be like to be the 90-year-old version of myself, the old wise man version of myself, because it's just tracking the progress, right? Tracking the progress in the past and analyzing that, okay, there's going to be progress in the future, and then the progress is I'm going to gain more knowledge. I'm going to have more failures that I'll learn from. I'm going to have more life experiences that I learn from, right? Like, mistakes are the things that help us grow, but yet we try to avoid mistakes at all costs. And that's why so many people are stagnant and don't grow at all, right? But like, I don't know. I'm just analyzing that just because I was 18 did not mean I was grown. And right now, just because I'm 25 does not mean I'm grown. Grown is this misunderstanding that we have. We misunderstand what it means to be grown. I hear it all the time. Oh, I'm grown. I'm grown. I hear people say it, like, if I'm trying to have a philosophical conversation with somebody, sometimes they'll just be like, oh, I'm grown. I know what I'm talking about. Like, man, I don't care. Like, there are people who are like 50 years old who act like children, who live the life of a teenager, right? I know people that are grown-ass adults that be on Facebook, creating drama and all this other shit like it's high school, right? I know people that are on Facebook, and it reminds me so much of high school. That's why I don't pay attention to social media like that. I'm on social media all the time, but I'm uploading, I'm creating. So many other people just consume other people's drama and garbage just because to pass time, as entertainment, as whatever, right? I don't know. A lot of people are just addicted to drama, just like a high schooler. So many people don't grow out of it anymore because social media has made it so you don't have to grow out of, childish behavior, because you can be on Facebook acting like a child, right? But that's the thing. I don't think age defines it either, though. Because as I'm saying, yes, over time we go through these changes, but not everyone goes through the same changes. So the changes I went through might be different than the changes you go through, right? So I've went through drastic changes where I drastically made some huge mistakes, which made me learn big lessons. You might have made no mistakes, which is why you're not learning lessons, or maybe you've made small mistakes and you're not paying attention to the lessons, or, there's so many, I don't know. I guess for me, it's just, I'm observing that who I am is a constant changing thing. We're searching for who we are. We're trying to figure out who we are, but we don't realize who we are always changes and always progresses and moves. It's a moving thing, so move with it, right? Except that it won't be the same as tomorrow, right? You won't be the same as tomorrow. So the mistakes you make today don't really matter. As long as you learn from them, you'll grow from them. You'll become better. I just think, so many of us, we get caught up on trying to be. We say, this is who I am and this is how I've always been, right? So many people say all the time, oh, this is just who I am. Well, if that's just who you are, that's just who you are. But I'm telling you, you don't have to be that, because every day you could constantly choose to be someone else. You could constantly choose to be a better version of yourself. It's your choice. It's your decision. You just have to make it, right? And yeah, so if you're 15 years old, if you're 17 years old, if you're 20 years old, if you're 23 years old, if you're 24 years old, if you're 25, that's how old I am, right? That doesn't mean you're grown. How many life experiences have you gone through? How much knowledge do you have in your head? Like, that matters, right? Because with the internet, you can gain knowledge right now if you choose to. Everything is a choice. Everything is. We think we have no choice, but we choose what we do with our life, right? We choose what we do. And we also forget that we choose who we become. So many people, homeless people on the street, forget that they chose that, right? I never forgot that. When I was homeless at my mom's, I was a homeless person on the street too, right? I've been homeless on the street, I've been homeless at my mom's, but I never forgot that I chose it. I never forgot that everything in life is my fault, good and bad, right? So it's I just feel like we just need to accept that the person that we become in the end of our life is our fault. And then we are becoming with the choices that we make. So pay attention to the choices that you're making. Pay attention to the things that you're doing. Pay attention to the way that you're thinking. Pay attention to the way that you're speaking. Because if you don't, you're just, becoming something, and you're getting lost. You don't even know who you are because you're not even really paying attention. Pay attention.